Welcome to my review of the Army Painter Speed Paint Metallic Set 2.0. I just picked these things up and I'm going to do a review on how to use these in a very basic way. It's just quick unboxing here. You can see it comes with a free brush. Rather like these free brushes. I still have my first brush from my first Army Painter set. Bit of paper fluff in here. Here's a guide, the free guide they give out. There's a flyer on speed paints, and then there's a bunch of stickers. My first disappointment on the speed paints is how the bottles had settled quite a bit. The agitators didn't really work that well. I had to resort to using my vortex mixer. This particular color did not mix at all, as you will see later on in this video. All the other bottles actually mixed quite fine. I headed over to Thingiverse to grab this contrast paint swatch to test out these lovely paints. While cleaning up my station, I realized probably a good time to apply some of this wood dock that's been lying here for a while. I think it's been a couple of years since I last treated this stinkwood cabinet. And a quick cure with the nail UV lamp. I'm applying the Rust-Oleum white primer, as it's a very common choice for people to use, and I just want to see how this works. I also decided to create a second batch of these swatches and then applying some slap chopping on that. Now begins the process of doing my slap chop here. Love these Artist Opus brushes, can highly recommend them. I'm marking the back of the swatches with Posca markers to keep track of what paints I've used. Now we get down to the painting. Another quick shake on the vortex mixer, as I notice these paints settle quite quickly. I'm using my red grass wet palette here. First thing I notice is that these paints come out quite easily out the bottle. There was no spillage, no problems I previously had with the other speed paints where the tops have been flying off. The consistency is really good. It looks like, at first impression, a very well thinned down paint. What I would actually have used in my airbrush previously. The base coating brush that came with this set was just not picking up enough paint, so I decided to switch to a bigger Raphael brush for the rest of this video. One thing I like about these metallic speed paints is you really only need one coat. That is how good the coverage is. just doing some quick touch-ups I noticed on my first slap chop one, but you can see here side to side, the coverage is really good, mostly just one coat. And this is where my second disappointment came in with these speed paints. I found that when I was busy painting these swatches that I primed with a white Rust-Oleum, it was just not covering. It was very blotchy, it didn't look good. I do understand that this is a general problem when using the Rust-Oleum prime, but a lot of people actually use this, and this was the purpose of this. I wanted to see what was the result I was going to get, painting like people normally would paint. The ones that I did do the slap chop on though, they were really, really good. It went on nicely, it looked good. The coverage was really, really good. It painted well over the black spots. I really, really do like this for slap chopping. Was not impressed at all when using this on a white primed. Up until now, I was really blown away by these speed paints. I absolutely loved them. But this was for me the real disappointment. The Horde Bronze was absolutely terrible. It was the one that earlier on I was unable to mix. It came on like a wash. No metallic pigment in it at all. No matter how hard I shaked it, how many times I used it on the Vortex mixer, it just would not mix. It was absolutely awful. If anybody from Army Paint is watching this, I really do hope that you re-look at your formula. I don't think this is a bad batch. These are still fairly new paints. They couldn't have been sitting on the ship for too long. Really, really not happy with them. I had a bad experience with it on both the white primed and on the slap chopped one. It really just started to look like a very, very messy wash. It just was not really, really good. Still not really impressed at all. Out of the whole set, this was my only really bad paint that I actually had. You know, considering what you pay for the set, it's still good value if you have one bad paint in it. The glittering loot was great fun to paint with. I loved the colour of this one. It went on so easy, really good coverage. I'm going to be using this one quite a lot for my RPG terrain pieces. The end result was that the slap chop was the clear winner. I would not recommend using these type of paints on a white prime. It just was not nice. It was a bit blotchy. It just kind of felt like I had to do some more work. I might need to do a second coat, would need to start add some washing to it, and that kind of defeats the object. I mean, slab chopping, we are just dry brushing a layer on top, and that's probably why it also works so well. I think that adhesion that the slab chopping gives you is what these paints want. A smooth surface that you get from a white pigment primer is not really good. I would like to retry this with using something like an Army Painter primer. You know, leave your thoughts or comments below if you'd like to see me do that in another video. Perhaps I might just take these and add some wash to them in another video. I'm undecided, but the decision is clear that going forward I would definitely only use slab chopping on this until I can find a better way. One thing I do like about these pigments is that they didn't bleed through my parchment paper too much. I think that's also quite important when we're working with things. You don't want to ruin your wet palette. The pigment was not too messy to clean off on the brush. There wasn't really big pieces or anything like that. Not a lot on the brush. This was actually quite nice. Just the normal wash with soap, give it a good rinse. These are great paints to have if you're into speed painting and need a metallic set. If you already have a metallic set of other paints and comfortable with thinning them down, these might not be for you. You might be a bit disappointed. The colors are great. I like them. They're vibrant. And you get really good coverage. And here's a piece I decided to paint after struggling to come up with ideas for many years on it. I found that the speed paints really just gave it a nice look and feel. I applied a wash to the body. The whole mini's done with speed paints, and then some really nice paint basing with the Army Painter basing material.